what if I told you that... Oh, whoops, bad driving. What if I told you there's an efficient way to build your characters? And what is the best time to do it? I mean, you can't really guarantee the best substats in this game. The RNG gods will decide your fate, but I've been doing some research, and there's definitely a few things I've noticed when it comes to efficiently spending stamina in NTE, and how to manage those Tetris pieces. So yeah, this video is all about the console each character has access to, and how to manage their so-called artifacts we've seen in other gacha games. Oh, and this video is sponsored by Hara Studios, so big thanks to them. Anyway, let's start with the most essential tip that even I failed to follow, but at least now I can share it and hopefully you can learn from my mistake. So, to build a character, you need to raise their level, their arcs level, improve their Esper abilities, and then finally we have the console. Now, as of making this video, I am assuming most of you have reached or about to reach Hunter level 30, and for me, the most exciting thing about reaching this milestone was the ability to finally go and farm some golden cartridges and modules. Previously, I didn't even bother with this domain, maybe spend like 100 character pixels, which by the way I'll just call energy from now on, and the rest of it was put into other domains. However, I saw gold, which is the highest tier, and blindly went into it, dumped all my energy, and came out with subpar results. You see, while gold cartridges and modules are the best in the game, the drop rate starting from this third difficulty is laughably bad. I mean, sure, sometimes I can score 2 golden cartridges, aka the circles, from a completed domain, but the bigger problem is this golden carata currency. Carata? I don't know, I'll just call it golden carat. And as a reminder, you use it on the modules gacha. So yeah, starting from difficulty 3, if you spend 40 energy, you get 40 golden carat. 80 energy leads to 80 golden carats. Simple, right? However, and this is thanks to me still having access to Creator's server, I went back and checked the drop rates of the next difficulties, and lo and behold, difficulty 4 gives 120 gold carats, difficulty 5 gives 200, and difficulty 6 gives 280. The quantity of it grows insanely high. Like, even from difficulty 3 to 4, the amount increases by 3 times. But what does it all mean? Well, you need 600 golden carats to do a 10 pull for the best golden modules. On difficulty 3, this would take literally 600 energy, or 2.5 days worth of waiting for energy to regen. On the other hand, even at difficulty 4, this goes down to 20 hours of waiting. And of course, when you get to difficulty 6, this goes down to roughly 8.5 hours of wait time. Or how about the worst case scenario? With difficulty 3, if you farm for golden carats and you want to do a 10 pull strictly of just one single module you're looking for, it would take about 15 days worth of energy to do it, compared to difficulty 6, which is about 51.5 hours, which is still quite long, but not 2 weeks of waiting time. Obviously, this is not something I recommend to do for anyone even in the very late game, but it's crazy how different the drop rates are compared between all these difficulty levels. And so, where am I getting at with all of this? Well, I'm saying that right now, assuming most of you who's watching is at Hunter level 30 plus, or getting near to it, this domain is still a huge scam to farm it, if your main goal is to obtain golden carats. Like, don't get me wrong, you still absolutely want purple modules and cartridges on characters because without them, well, you can see poor Bitesong dealing pitiful damage here, so you still need to have some kind of modules equipped. But I would not bother trying to find the perfect substats yet. We're still a long way from doing this efficiently, so just get into the domain, farm up a bunch of silver carats, along with a little bit of golden carats, and then use both of these currencies, well, mainly silver carats, to pull for purple modules. Otherwise, the rest of your energy should absolutely go into other domains to help build your 8 characters. Unless, of course, you don't really want to bother with Beyond the Rails endgame system. But it is the endgame we have, along with high-risk commissions. Like, right now, my Hathor is still level 1, and Daffodil is also only halfway there to getting built, and I would have been able to achieve a fully built team if I didn't laser focus so much on getting golden carats. Because at the end of the day, the purple modules and cartridges are temporary. All of it will be replaced by golden stuff. Alright, so with this big PSA out of the way, let's talk about the actual stats. So, when it comes to set bonuses, they are all pretty much self-explanatory. You put the Chaos set on Chaos unit, you put Cosmos set on Cosmos unit, and so on. Buffers like Sakiri and Haniel will want Speedy Hedgehog set, but I'm not here to discuss the nitty-gritty details of each character. If you want some early advice how to build units, you can check out Rivyn's videos, I'll leave a link to their channel. However, it is important to pay attention to this easily to miss part of the screen, where it tells you what bonuses the character gains if you equip specific modules on them. For example, Nunnally gains 6% critical rate for every Type 2 module equipped. Zero gains 10% attack for every Type 3 module. Or how about Daffodil, who also benefits most from Type 3 module but gains 10% chaos damage, and so on with other units. You can check the module types from the filtering screen here, but honestly, the type and number corresponds to how many squares it has. So Type 2 always has 2 squares, Type 3 has 3 squares, and Type 4, you've guessed it, 4 squares. Doesn't matter how they look, the type dictates the amount of squares they will have. So this should be easy to remember. But yeah, these bonuses are extremely important to maximize. You want to obtain as much of it as possible. For example, Nunnally's Type 2 module bonus allows her to reach nearly 100% critical rate without needing to use critical rate main stat on the cartridge, which you can then use with anima or crit damage. Another big thing to look out for is that since all the substats in the game are fixed, they do not have varying values. So if we look at the golden, or I guess S rarity modules, we can see each square literally provides same amount of value. So for example, attack percent on Type 2 module gives 2.5%, then 3.75% on Type 3, and 5% on Type 4. Literally each square provides 1.25% attack. So there's no advantage when it comes to utilizing Type 2, Type 3, or Type 4 module. It's all about filling out the entire area with these modules as efficiently as possible, and also paying attention to which type of module gives the character that extra bonus they gain from that specific type. So in short, there's no secret how to maximize the stats. All of them are fixed, and you only need to pay attention and fill in as many of the preferred module types to capitalize on their bonuses. And again, same applies to main stats of each module. Their values are fixed. It's always flat attack and HP, and their scaling yet again just matches the amount of squares the module takes up on the board. And as I said before, while golden modules and cartridges are the best, even around hunter level 30 plus, the most common pieces you will utilize will still be purple modules and cartridges. But I'd say starting from difficulty 5, which is when you reach hunter level 45, it won't feel too bad to farm for golden carrots and cartridges. But even at hunter level 40, if your 8 characters cannot be built any further from other domains, then dipping into this improved console domain won't be too bad, since at the end of the day, purple modules and cartridges are still really good to use in mid-game, and then when you can finally efficiently replace them with golden stuff, they will have about 25% better substats and main stats. Lastly, I want to quickly go over leveling itself, since we can always see what substats the pieces have. For purple gear, I'd say don't bother optimizing too much, all of it will be replaced eventually. Try to always get some critical rate and damage for your main DPS units, while others can make do with worse stats. However, when it comes to golden gear, overall it's not super expensive to raise module or cartridge to level 20, but this might just be the honeymoon period since we're getting tons of resources from all the content. So I'd say try and find at least 3 perfectly matching substats before investing into a golden piece. Ideally, you'd want 4 of course, but that will be for the very late game gearing, if I'm being honest. And of course, it still all depends on randomness. And remember, if you're aiming to clear beyond the rails endgame with 2 teams, you will run out of resources eventually, trying to keep everyone on an even playing field. So when it comes to leveling, always first focus on raising cartridge, since it provides much higher substats compared to modules, and most importantly, the main stat provides that precious growth for things like critical damage or any of the attribute damage bonuses. So yeah, overall I'd say NTE has one of the more simple gearing systems, but surprisingly enough, you can't really start gearing that early because it's just way too inefficient to try and get that gold carrot currency when you're actually piling up a ton of silver carrot currency and it's begging you to be spent. Otherwise, just make sure to always put in as many of the preferred module types as you can. Each one gives a big bonus usually, and then don't overcommit too much on purple gear. Level it and use it of course right now, but the good stuff comes later. Anyway, hope you found this video useful, and I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that like button on the video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.